What's happening, guys? So today we got some, get away dog. We'll take a little ride here. So along with building saws, I've got a small farm with these little vegetables here and there. But the water I use on my farm, I pump from the creek into these barrels. And then that's how I feed the garden. But I've got to winterize everything. So I have to drain out all the lines. Get all the pumps drained out to get ready for colder days, because they're right around the corner where I want them to be or not, unfortunately. First I want to go down here and check out the property. I hadn't done a whole lot down here this year. When I first bought this place, you couldn't even see from my house into the woods. It was so thick. Usually there's a lot of deer down in here. So my dog's gonna go chasing one through the wild yonder. Nay, leave him alone. We're having a little, got the creek over there, runs through the property. And I had a bunch of rubs on some trees. I've been watching a couple of bucks the last few years. Had a nice 8 in here, had a nice 6 for South Carolina anyway. I wonder if that's one of the, as you can see, not really. That's an old rub. There's another tree down here that had a pretty good rub on it. It's still down here. But the way the creek runs through the property is it crisscrosses like an S pattern. And a lot of my property on the other side I couldn't get close to because of the way the creek come down and crisscross this property. So I'm gonna put in a culvert eventually. Here's funny. This is a little rub. I think it's dry, so that may have been earlier this year. But usually there's all kinds of ones down here that's just pretty rubbed. Usually if you look around, you'll see them. I usually keep this mowed down in here. And there's a huge trail that comes down across the property from me, and then comes down through the creek, goes up that, if you see that creek bank right up through there, then it goes up and there's a ridge line. And my property borders probably 200 something acres back in there. So I've got quite a bit that runs down this little valley and then back up towards the house. So my dog loves playing in the water. So anyway, come on. Got it, come on, here. So anyway, so I used to keep this really clean down in here. Like I said, this year's been so busy with the shop, I haven't had much of a chance to, unfortunately, to do that. But I'll try to clean it up. I eventually want to get to the other side of the creek once I get my culvert in and start cleaning that up. At least where you can get down in there and use it, or at least go over there without having to cross the creek. Got a little tree stand over there. Haven't had it in years. Just haven't had that time. Time is something you just don't have a whole lot of. lot bigger. But anyway, so down there is where I pump the water out of the creek. Take a full drive going up this hill. All these leaves, they got a big rut. Anyway, so what I wanted to do today, Nay, get back over here, Nay. So as I come out of the woods, got the wood miser, an old trusty tractor. Things got some hours on it. This was good though, it's stout being on the tractor. I just don't build them like that anymore. Let's see if we can get up here real quick. Yeah, so usually I keep this a lot cleaner. I just hadn't had time being a one-man show this year, and it's just a lot of crazy stuff going on. Got a tree that's way down. Sweet gum. If anybody knows anything about sweet gum, it's probably the most useless tree in the world. Well, maybe not in the world, but in my area, I don't know that they're good for anything. Don't even think you can get lumber. I've got a lot of windfall down here I need to cut up, but luckily I just installed the wood heater. Culvert started putting in, just hadn't had time there yet, hadn't had time to finish. So I'm gonna get down here and cut some of this wood up pretty soon. But luckily, I installed a wood heater in my shop. Eventually I'm gonna put one in the house. Like a little shooting range down here, but this place is loaded with deer. So yeah, I've got some windfall to clean up there again. I think that's sweet gum too, if I remember correctly. This stuff's terrible. Yeah, big pile of these I blew up the other day. I was fixing to drag them out everywhere. Anyway, so what I've been doing in the shop, I'll take y'all for a little tour because I don't think I've ever showed the shop. Really? Maybe just bits and pieces here and there. It's pretty much a mess right now. So I'm trying to do some renovating. I'm going to do some adding on. And you know, I got several new pieces of equipment. Got the dyno, all that stuff. Trying to get that worked out. So what I'm gonna do on this side, once I finish getting it dug out, well, we got chickens too. I'm gonna add on up there for right now. Ultimately, hopefully in the next year, I say year, first of next year, sometime maybe spring, summer next year, out there in the field, that's where I'm gonna build, hopefully, a new building. Put a pad, and that'll be the new shop for the saw shop, and this will be just my personal kind of pitter area for my projects. But I hope to do some retail stuff down there too. So this is some of the contents of the shop out here, because I had to do some rearranging in the shop. So this is the shop. You got dyno over there, a couple of grinders, TIG, plasma cutter, press, scientific oven for coatings and things like that, important refrigerator for your beverages. And this is kind of the crazy area right in here because I just don't have any room. So that was my porting bench, but it's still kind of makeshift for now until I can clean up this area. And then I'm gonna move the shelves that I use to roll around saws. I hadn't decided yet what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do, the add-on will be for storage, and then this area will be for work. So I'll have, I don't want to put anything with any fuel or any oil around it near the wood stove. I mean, it's, you know, it goes up and it's 3-wall chimney. I got to close that part of the roof in. But anyway, so but stuff like the milling machine and the lathe, it's hard to, you know, they're huge, they're heavy. The compressor, I'd love to have it in the next room over once I add that on. Sandblaster, I really don't use a whole lot unless I got some mufflers. It's just super gnarly filth. Or if I'm doing some coating on something, you know, I'll blast it. So this is the Tower of Shame. These are pretty much all different saws in different, I don't know, some of them run, some of them don't run good, some of them, hey man, can you build me this saw? And they bring their saw and it looks like that. So yeah. But anyway, so that's one of the reasons I just quit doing repairs, because that and parts. So now it's just builds. Once I get the ones I have here that need repairs, which most of the ones that need repairs are the Husqvarnas, which parts are super aggravating to get. Some of these saws are just part saws. Oh, the other day when I made a mandrel, I was made a dedicated mandrel. I don't know if anybody's seen the video. So I've got different ones here on the bench for different ones. That's for the wood now. I need to take that back out. These cutters here for the bands if I don't want to put it on the mill. These are the ones Dino Joe sells. They're awesome. They work great. I made some different rings to adapt them to different ones, and then the ones that don't fit. Oh, I was going to show you too the mandrels. I got sidetracked there. The mandrel I made the other day I used for my dedicated 9010 Echo blower mandrel, because I was doing more of those. Was my old 500 mandrel. So I had a bunch of 500s to do, so I'm like, oh crap, well now what? So I pulled up my mandrel and I used it to trim. I trimmed it down, and I thought I was trimming down an end that it wasn't used for anything, but it was the end for my 500. So I got another piece of aluminum stock and made a new mandrel for the 500. And what I do when I make these, some of them are out of steel, some of them are out of aluminum. But aluminum cuts so much easier. I cut it back to where the inside lip of the, you know, this is all the same size as the bore. I mean, it fits very tightly. And this little lip here is cut back just a smidge, so when you go in with your cutter, it don't hit this to get past the coating. So this is kind of an indent, if you can see here. So when you run your cutter in, you got clearance, and then this is just more clearance. So then this I can make for something else. I'll just mount this end and then cut this in. So anyway, and then the ones that are close, I'll 3D print little sleeves. So if I need one that's close, if I have a mandrel that's close, instead of cutting a whole new mandrel, I can just pull it up and on CAD and design it up real quick. I mean, it's just a circle of the wall, and I can make a 3D printed sleeve, so I don't have to machine a completely new mandrel, because when you do, you know, you have obviously a mess. Yeah. So moving on. So plasma table. Hopefully I'll be able to cut out some dogs eventually. Maybe some other few things. I want to do some maybe some mufflers for ones that aren't currently made, or there's like 261 and stuff like that. So I've got some ideas for it. Definitely the 201 top handle. Brand new toolbox, you know, still in the box. Multiple saws. So hopefully when I get the addition, it'll help with some of this. I'm going to replace either that bench or my porting bench with a nice metal bench I've got. So this is kind of just a temporary bench because I ran out of room. I've got a bunch of 200s I've got to get on. been trying to find parts for those, like OEM stuff, because some of them, some of them run, some of them don't run, some of them are literally in pieces in a box. That's how I got it. So this is the dyno. It's an inertia dyno. It spins a wheel. It's got a sensor on it. It, based on whatever that sensor picks up, it feeds it into the little box. Dynamite. Performance trends. I think I know Joe's he uses Dynamite also. His is not an inertia dyno, but so I've been having an issue getting the pulley size to spin the wheel easy enough for the saw, because it's heavy, without putting too much heat in it, but not overspinning the drum. So I've got a new sprocket / pulley to see if we can get the gearing right. This is just the computer in here, and of course the screen there. And this is the control station with my brake to brake the wheel, and the wire for the RPM. So that's pretty much a grand tour. It's not a very big shop, which makes things tough. I have to shuffle and shift a lot, which slows me down. So hopefully in the near future things will pick up, and things will be a little faster as far as turnaround. Of course, parts still is the main thing. If you get one torn down, you got limited space like this. So if you get one torn down, like the steel over here, it was just a rebuild and needed a piston in it. It's just junk out of there. You see the piston in this one. It had a bad day. So I've got a couple of cylinders here. This was I think the one that was on it. Yeah, if you can see it, it's pretty gnarly in there. It's full of crap. Here's an OEM cylinder, and I have a new OEM piston to put in it. But what concerns me with this one, let me see if I can find it, is if you look right there beside the transfer, if you can see, right beside the transfer, see that little nick right there where the coatings come off? I'm a little concerned about that long term. I told the customer about it. He supplied the cylinder, and he wants to go back OEM, which, I'm definitely a fan of OEM versus not. But, so we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how that one runs. Anyway, so here's the 500. I just got it done the other day. Had an issue, had to reflash it, and still has gone to the 2.0 version now. So when you plug up your machine, if it don't find your machine, if you have the old SDS, they have now went to the 2.0. So just a little headache saver there for those who have that stuff. I've got the Husqvarna and the steel tool, but Husqvarna, every time I pull it up, it says they're going to web-based. So I don't know, how that's going to work out down the road for that one. But currently, still has went to the 2.0. So if you plug your machine in, I think it'll do some of the older ones, the older M-Tronic saws, that I'm pretty sure all the newer 500s it will not recognize. So when you plug it in there, when you plug up your machine, it will not recognize the new machines. So it's still 2.0. You can contact your steel rep, and they can point you in the right direction. But anyway, all right, guys, I'm gonna pause it for here. We'll get the saw, go out there, set up. We'll do a couple of test cuts, and load some wood on the trailer and just kind of piddle around. Thanks for stopping in.